planning documents that everybody should have. Everyone should have a Health Care Surrogate Designation. And you need to have a backup to that person. You know, the person you're probably going to nominate first as your health care surrogate is someone you spend a lot of time with, and if you're in the same car wreck and in the same emergency room, you want a backup to that. So if that person is not available, you should have a backup. You should have a living will if you want one. I almost never encounter people who do not want a living will, and they're not that easy really to understand. In the simplest terms, what a living will says is that if I am at the end of life and 2 doctors verify that I am not going to recover, then I decline measures that just prolong my dying. If I'm not going to recover, no feeding tubes, no ventilators. For me, no IVs, no non-palliative surgery, turn off the pacemakers, let me go. That's what a living will is. The piece that's kind of confusing, and it came up early in COVID. We're all numb to COVID now. That's kind of sad. We shouldn't be, but we are. Me too. But when COVID first hit, it was, but what if I get COVID and I have a living will? Well, if a ventilator is treatment and you are likely going to recover, you get the treatment. Only after treatment fails and the doctors acknowledge that there's nothing more that can be done does a living will even come in. A living will is not a DNR. DNRs do not resuscitate. I get 40-year-olds come in my office and say, I want a DNR. And I say, really, I don't think you do. Because if you grab this electrical cord and your heart stops, CPR will bring you right back. You don't want that? Well, that's not what I mean. Yep. We confuse that. Do not resuscitate means if your heart stops, no one's going to do anything about it. So you don't want a DNR until you've already made the choice that you're not going to do any heroic measures, and if your heart stops, you're ready to depart. So, but if you do not have a living will, you will be Terry Shiloh. We will be arguing about what you wanted. So please write it down. Do a living will. Everyone needs a power of attorney. A power of attorney handles financial and contract matters. I have a personal philosophy about powers of attorney, about life plan documents in general. I think that they should be very broad and very powerful. The power of attorney in Florida is effective as soon as you sign it. It does not wait for you to be incapacitated. So, as soon as you sign it, if that person has it in their paw, they can use it. So is there a risk? Yes, there is. So we want to minimize that risk in several ways. First of all, the first line is, who are we going to choose to be named as the agent under the power of attorney? Let's choose someone who's completely trustable. And if we have any questions, let's appoint 2 and make them act together. And if you don't want to do that, then I and many attorneys will hold the original power of attorney for you. If people can't use what they don't have. So you have what I call an escrow letter that says, Dear Attorney Blackburn, you're holding my power of attorney. If I am incapacitated or I'm in the hospital or there are other good reasons, hand it over, otherwise you keep it. So we can also do that to keep it safe. But I think you should have one because we just don't know what could happen. And if you don't have capacity, we need someone who can sign for you. Everyone should have a will. People say, I don't have much. Why do I need a will? Okay, if you don't have much, you need a will more. than people who have a lot. People who have a lot can pay for the fight over it. If you don't have a lot, all the pennies of what you do have is going to go to the fight over it. And if you think people won't fight over $5,000, you're not living in the real world. They will. And, even if, now, you say I don't have a will, but you do. And it's written by the state of Florida. And you may not like it. So, you should do a will. Even if, as we've already discussed, the reason to do one is to appoint somebody that you want to manage your estate. If you have minor children, we definitely want to do a nomination of guardian for the minors. That's done within a will. People ask